MashaAllah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-aliyyil azim. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ibadihi allazina istafa. Amma ba'du, farabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. وقل ربي أدخلني مدخل صدق وأخرجني مخرج صدق واجعل لي من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا بسم الله وبالله وتوكلت على الله. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Verse number 125 of Surah Al-Baqarah, second chapter of the Holy Book of Quran. We recite it together. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wa iz ja'alna al-bayta masabatan lin-nas wa amna wattakhidhu min maqami Ibrahima musalla. وَأَهِدْنَا إِلَىٰ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْمَاعِيلَ أَن طَهِّرَا بَيْتِي لِلطَّائِفِينَ وَالْعَاكِفِينَ وَالرُّكَّعِ السُّجُودِ. صدق الله العظيم. We have explained half of this verse in the session that we have done it before, and we will complete it the next session in next half of that in this session. This verse is related to verses before in this context that Israelites were told, or they were reminded, that they were preferred people, and the preference was to make them more responsible because of that preference that Allah blessed upon them. And somehow it is felt, or they have showed, that they took it as a pride for themselves, and they were having this manner that showed some arrogancy or pride over other people, that they are from the lineage of the prophets and they are preferred people by Allah, so they are above other people. To negate this mindset, Allah told them that you are preferred, but my criteria for selecting and allowing somebody to come to near me and have a position in my eyes is taqwa, and fearing Allah and being in the service of Allah. As he starts from Ibrahim and shows that if Ibrahim has given some higher places and position, he also was tested and examined, and he passed all of them, and he was successful, so that he found and he was rewarded some positions in front of Allah, and he had that highest position of being Imam for all mankind in the court of Allah. And that position is not given to him without reason, but there was a good reason for that, and that was his being a good servant to Allah. And Allah invites all of the people, and especially Israelites. Allah reminds them that you be good people, you will have good position in the eyes of Allah, in front of Allah, or in the court of Allah. This verse is also a part of that reminding and part of those events that Allah is reminding Israelites so that they have these things in their mind and to remember them and come back from that diversion that they have made, and they have went wrong way and they have slipped from the right path of Allah. Allah is telling them that remember, and this half is what we have done, but for only to connect this to the next half, I translate it from the beginning and I say, وَإِذْ جَعَلْنَا الْبَيْتَ مَثَابَةً لِلنَّاسِ, or remember that we did this Bayt as a place of worship and place of visitation for all people, all mankind, all men from all over the world. They should come to that place and they be worshipping Allah there. And with this point, Allah is telling Israelites that if this prophet is doing his worship towards this Bayt was a Bayt of place of worship from the time of Ibrahim. So don't take this thing as an enmity to this prophet that he has turned to this Bayt for his worship and for his establishing Salat, because this surah or this chapter, the place of its revelation was Medina, and in Medina the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam encountered with the Jews, and here it was that this encounter happened, and they had faced each other, and the Holy Prophet invited them, and they came to deny him and to disbelieve in him and to go on the other way than what he was inviting them to. Here, the Holy Prophet had changed the direction of his prayers from Al-Aqsa, from Baytul Maqdis towards Baytullah in Makkah. So this was another aspect of their opposition. They were opposing this, and that they were asking that how he have changed from the place where he was worshipping first, and now he have changed his direction towards Kaaba and towards the Baytullah. So Allah is with one ayah clearing so many aspects of the things or the events which were happening, and Allah with this ayah is also telling them that this place of worship, which is now a direction of the Holy Prophet for his Salat, do not take it as some enmity or something that is opposing you. That is what Allah had said from the time of Ibrahim, and you know it. وَإِذْ جَعَلْنَا الْبَيْتَ مَثَابَةً لِلنَّاسِ وَأَمْنًا, and also we set it as some place of Amn. Here we should have some special attention to the words Amnan. Here Allah is saying that this Baytullah is set as place of Amn. It means that there will be a general peaceful condition. A general tranquility will be prevailed in this place, and not every individual is Amn. That is what Allah is saying. The place in general is tranquil and it is peaceful. That is what Allah is saying. Baytullah is place of Amn. That is what Allah is setting it. And because the next word which is being used in the next ayah, it is Aminan, and there is a difference between Aminan and Amn, and maybe in translations the reader will not find so much difference between in these two words in the translation, but I will explain it. The Aman, where it is said here in this verse that Allah is saying, وَإِذْ جَعَلْنَا الْبَيْتَ مَثَابَةً لِلنَّاسِ, that we have set this place, this Al-Bayt, Baytullah, Kaaba and the surrounding as a place which is a place of visitation, a place of worship for all people, and also it is Amn, a place of tranquility and peaceful place. Generally, place is peaceful. How about every individual? That is something other than that. Maybe a very small one, two, or this kind of accident or incident may happen there of quarreling and maybe a short-term fight or fight between two individuals or this kind of things can happen there. But generally, place is place of peace and it is called peaceful place. Everybody is talking about that it is peace, a place of peace, and there we are in peaceful condition. But in the next ayah, the word is used aminan, and aminan, we will translate it and tell that aminan have a different meaning, and that Allah is not setting that aminan, but that is part of the supplication or part of the request of the Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam from Allah, and Allah is responding to him. Then that we will inshallah explain it in the next ayah. But here we continue this ayah. Allah is saying, وَأَمْنًا وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلًّى, and also Allah is commanding mu'minin that they should take the place of Ibrahim, which is a title for special place, and that title is recorded and registered in the book of Allah, and Allah give this place a special importance, so that he is naming him and he is nominating that place to be used as a place of worship, and to be used as a place of worship because of honoring His Highness Ibrahim alayhi salam. Up to this place we have done it in the session before, and from here we start the explanation for this session. وَأَهِدْنَا إِلَىٰ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْمَاعِيلَ. Here Allah is telling us in this phrase وَأَهِدْنَا, and we know that this word is used in the verse before, where Allah had given a place of imamah to Ibrahim, and then Ibrahim asked Allah, how about my seeds and my offspring, whether you will give them this kind of place or this kind of position of nearness to you or in your court. And Allah did not answer him directly and completely or in detail, but just said one sentence, and he announced his policy about this and said that my treaty or my agreement or my covenant will not reach those who are unjust. That a brief sentence with a principle law forever. And now in this verse, from here Allah is using again that word, and that word is used, and in this verse or in this phrase Allah is telling with one sentence so many things. One of them is that because of Ismail, that he was a good offspring of Ibrahim, as somebody who was just and who was a good doer, and he was somebody who was obeying Allah and going according to the guidance of Allah. Then Allah made that treaty and they made his covenant with him, as he gave the part to Ismail in that treaty, because of that principle that Allah has said in the previous ayah, that he will do his treaty, he will make a covenant with those who are on the right path and who are just people, who are good doer, and who are people who go on the right path. So here Allah is saying, Wahidna ila Ibrahim. So Ibrahim is already as an Imam. So ahad with him and a treaty with him is already is okay. But starting from Ismail, and he is also now included in the treaty because of that principle that Allah has said in the verse before. What was that first treaty that Allah enjoined Ibrahim along with Ismail? Allah is saying, وَأَهِدْنَا إِلَىٰ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَإِسْمَاعِيلَ. Remember this, O Israelite, that we made our treaty with Ibrahim, we made this agreement with Ibrahim and Ismail. And Ismail, being the offspring of Ibrahim, is included here in this treaty because of that formula that Allah gave in the verse before. What was the agreement? What was the responsibility that they were given from the side of Allah? Allah do not give his responsibilities, do not take people's to be in service, do not allow them to be in service unless they are just people, unless they are having good character and they do good deeds. And Allah is saying here, Antahira. The agreement here, the first agreement was made that you both, Ibrahim and Ismail, start to make the house of Allah a clear house, a house which is purified, and from which it is purified. Purified from the, maybe from this apparent filth or whatever it is, not something that should be there. They cleaned it, and Allah wanted it to be clean and pure. And maybe from those idol they were, there was a possibility that they were there, or some other aspect that may be there that they could contaminate, or they could make it a place where it is make it unpure, or make it a place where it is, there is some kind of unclear situation. Maybe that whatever it is, Allah is telling them that you have to tahira, two of you, both of you, you should make it pure. Baiti, my bed. Here Allah is telling that this is my house, my place, and with the relating this house to him, he gives a big honor and he exalted the place of this house to the highest possible place. And for whom this purification should be done, this purging of the house, is for what the purpose, what is goal? Allah is telling that this is for ta'ifin, those people who come and they make round about it, they worship about it, where they worship around it, they do the circle of worship around it. They have that special worship rites which are told and which have been done from the first day and from the time of Ibrahim, this rounding about this Baytullah or Kaaba. For these people, and wal akifin, those people who are making abode there, they come and stay there, they take some time for doing ibadah, and they keep themselves confined to that place and they do not move from that place and they stay there for a while, maybe 1 day, 2 day, 1 night, 2 night, or whatever. They Taifin wal Akifin, those people who are coming to stay there inside as a part of worship, and not only just stay for night and passing their night, not that one only, but because of being in the worship of Allah and dedicating their time to the worship of Allah. Wal Akifin, and also to purify that place for Rukka, those people who are in Ruku all the time. Rukka is an exaggerative format of the adjective, and that means that one who is doing this worship of bowing before Allah for a longer time, for a that some consecutively he is doing that every time he is doing one after other, or for a longer time in one ruku. That is one who is called rukka. It is from rake, means the one who bows before Allah, and rukka means the one who is bowing before Allah for a longer time or for several time and consecutively. And also sujud. Rukka is sujud also. It is a term that is an exaggerative format of adjective, and that means also someone who is not only one sajid. Sajid means the one who does one time a prostration act, but sajud is the one who is doing it consecutively and frequently, and one after another, and this way he is called sujud. So Allah is telling, then when somebody is there, and especially this is said here after Akifin, because Akifin, when somebody is staying for worship, then what is his work? He is always in one or second position, whether he is in ruku or in sujud, or this kind of position is for akifin, and this is somehow an explanation for the akifin. And taifin and akifin and ruku sujud, they are we can say a gradual situation, or a tiers of the situations, that when somebody goes to that place for the worship of Allah, then he first circles, then stays, and when stays, then he does bowing acts, and then he prostrates, and all these 4 steps are in a orderly position. They are said here, and Allah said it for the one who is that is a lesson, and that is something that Allah wants somebody to do the worship Allah in this tartib, or in this setting that Allah have set. First they come, they do their tawaf, then they stay, then in staying they do ruku, and then they do their prostration. Allah may give us this opportunity and this grace to be in His service and understand what He wants from us. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May Allah bless you all.